on or about March 3rd with your new assessments on them. It set up in the upper right-hand corner what exemptions you had on your property, but it did not include exemption amounts in the final figure down at the bottom of that letter, which indicated what was believed to be your potential tax burden next year, based on the figures from this past year. That's the only figures we can look at, is what the town tax levy was for the town residents, what the county tax levy was, and what each of the 3 school tax levies was for the various portions of town that they're represented in. So the figure at the bottom of your page, it was either a plus number or a minus number of how it's anticipated your tax burden will be next year. That did not include the agricultural exemptions. So if you had an agricultural exemption and still have one, your figure should be lower than what's there, considerably lower. And if you look at your tax bill last year, you will see on that the amount that the exemption was worth to you. And if you compare that, what is on the letter you received 2 weeks ago, you'll see that there's a huge difference. Now, part of that is because we went from 48% to 100%. And obviously that's an automatic doubling. But in addition to that, if you had an additional increase in your assessment, then you probably do have a small increase. I do believe that in the great majority of cases, if you had a significant jump in your assessment, it's because you were underassessed to begin with. This company had no axe to grind coming into this town and setting property values. I have no axe to grind. I don't even live here. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that I can't be straightforward with this. I'm not going to answer questions, Alden, go ahead.
What other towns in Atlantic County have been reappraised like Western? We're the only ones.
There have been no towns assessed in,
Appraised.
Individual appraisals. No town-wide reappraisals have been done in probably 13 years.
That's right.
How come? That you have to talk to them. Ask this town board why they didn't do one.
And we will. We will.
It's you know, I'll tell you, it's an unpopular thing to do, but it is a smart thing to do.
How can people pay them? That's the unpopular
Exactly.
thing right there.
We're on fixed income. A lot of people around here are.
Okay. I think I will settle with that.
Okay, so, again, we have not had a revale since the mid-'80s. New York State, I can't answer that, I wasn't here. New York State recommends a revale every 10 years, if you look on the real property tax site, okay? Every 10 years. Please let me speak. My recommendation going forward is this town needs to do it every 10 years, like recommended by the state. 38 years is too long. Steve, yeah, you have a frog in my throat. So after the informal review process, GAR is going to send you a letter by May 1st and they admitted to us, assessments are gonna come down for some people, okay? They're already planning that. They're gonna send you a letter. If you still don't like what you're reading in your letter, Steve is available when, Steve?
I'll be available May 1st to talk to you. If everybody in this room comes to me, I'm going to have a tough time meeting with all of you before grievance day. But
How do we get a hold of you?
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Give a chance, people.
Holy
Come on.
cow.
Just ask him a question.
Just wait.
Yes,
Just give me an opportunity to talk. He'll tell you.
Finish answering the question, then we'll go back. You're gonna be available May 1st.
Oh, okay, if you didn't hear me, what I said is that you will receive, if your assessment has been changed, either up or down from what it was on March 1st, you will get a letter telling you what that change is. You have actually 3 options at that point, and you really should start with the first one if you can. Contact me and talk to me about getting together with you and going over your assessment and why you think it's unjust. If you think your taxes are too high, I cannot help you. Please do not call me. I have nothing to do with taxes. I'm trying to find the market value that's fair and appropriate and what you could receive for your property should you decide to sell it. I'm not encouraging anybody to sell anything, but That's the way this is being based. So,
Can't pay for them, we're going to have to sell.
so that's the first step. I will meet with as many of you as I can. There's one of me, and if everybody in this room wants to complain, it's gonna be difficult. But you've got to have a valid reason. You've got to have done a comparative study with other sales around you. You've got to say that the condition of your house is not what you saw that it was in the letter that you received back in July last year. You need to be able to tell me that the
Why
pole
are we
barn
doing
is
your
gone
job?
and some other structures may not be there.
We're supposed to be professionals and bring all this information.
To
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So,
You have got
what I
to
will
have
do
some-
at that point is I will do the best I can to look at your property, compare it with other ones around you, and see if you are being treated fairly in a relationship to the other people around the town. If I feel you are, I'm not going to make a change. If I feel that there are changes that can be made, I will sign an agreement with you to do that, which would then be ratified by the grievance board on grievance day.
Perfect.
If you don't reach satisfaction with me, then there is grievance day. And that will be on the 24th of May. It's a Wednesday. And the hours have not yet been set, but it'll be in the later afternoon, at least 4 hours, maybe more than that. It'll be up to the grievance board how many hours they choose to meet. I do not govern that board. They are appointees of the town board. They set their times, they set their hours, and they determine how each meeting will be run. If they have to run more than one day, I anticipate they will. It's their goal to get through this as well as everybody else's. If you do not receive the decision you would like from the grievance board, there is a process with small claims court that you can appeal this to after that. It has to be done within, I think, 30 days of July 1st. You have to do that by September 1st or before September 1st. And there is minimal cost, if anything, involved with that. You're basically going to represent yourself. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need anybody to help you.
I think
with
it's
it.
$25 or something like
Okay,
that.
there's a small filing fee. And if that is not satisfactory to you, the last step is to go to state Supreme Court. That can be expensive, and it can be, it's something you probably would need to hire an attorney for. The last thing I'm going to say is that in some cases, if you're plain not happy at all with this and you really feel that you are being nailed to the wall, you always have, and I'm not saying this is cheap, but you always have the option of getting a professional appraisal done on your property. Bring that to the town. I will look at it and I will take it very, very seriously. I can't guarantee you flat out that I will give you exactly what they say, because I've seen some appraisals that can be a little sketchy. But for 95% of them, I would follow those.
I had a bank do one 2 years ago. Guard's $165,000.
Have you told GAR that?
Excuse me?
Have you told GAR that?
Yes.
Have you sent them the cover
I
sheet
told
with it?
them, they told me to go through the process. I go.
Well, the process is to send the pages that are relevant. Don't send them the whole appraisal. Send them 2 or 3 pages from that and say, this is the appraisal I had done in 2019, 2020, whatever. And that should carry a lot of weight. If it doesn't carry weight with them, bring it to me in May, okay?
Hey, Steve,
So,
I got a question for you. Now, you are the tax,
I'm nothing taxed.
okay, you're the assessor in town of Should you not work hand in hand with them as they went through the last 2 years? So if they came onto a property, you could say that's a camping trailer. That's wrong. You should not be taxed for that. All this things we went through and told them were wrong, there's no communication back that they've changed it. You should be helping them. You should have been every.
I'm in touch with them multiple times every
I'm
day.
not talking about, I'm talking every week.
On site.
You should have
So-
been on site, somebody should have been going, you should have been going with them.
when we met with them, we did bring that up, and we did say that.
Met with them, did you meet
Wait a
them
minute,
on site?
wait, let me finish. Otherwise, I'm gonna just say that this night is over. You've gotta let people speak. When we met with GAR, we said to them, we expected you to work closer with us, with Steve especially. That did not get done. They understand that. All I'm telling you is right now, do the informal review process. That's your best bet at having things changed before grievance day.
Well, I think
It has to be postmarked by Monday, the 27th. Your envelope has to be postmarked by the 27th for them to look at it. Okay? There's a hand up here.
My question is if the idea of the reassessment was to level, so to speak, the playing field, the fact that they did them by Google Earth and they didn't visit on site, you have a house that was 1.1 million assessed for 300, how's that fair and even the playing field to anything? Nothing is assessed. I mean, I'm sure some, nothing is a stretch. Some things are assessed at market value, what they should be, but there's a lot of things that work. So when you just go forward with this because it's easier than going back, those people are still getting away with it and it's still unfair to some and others are benefiting.
Right, so they did actually come out, they did take pictures, they did come out on the roads, so they did look at the houses. They did not look at them 100%, and they agree with you, Joelle, that there were mistakes. They're not arguing that.
But the ones
Let's
that
work
are
through the
assessed-
process and fix it.
But who's gonna come and complain? I mean, if my house is worth 1.1 million and it's assessed for 3, guarantee you're not gonna see me on grievances.
Yeah,
Okay, so who's gonna complain?
Yeah, I know.
And making it fair?
I know. Yeah. Question back there.
I just have a question here. Town of Western, 2019, Mountain Master Plan. Master Plan says, several properties in the town included in Oneida County Agricultural District 2. These districts are designed to protect agriculture from threats, overly restrictive zoning, and excessive real property taxation assessment. Are you guys going by this? This is something you guys planned.
That's the master plan the planning committee developed and that we adopted, yes.
And the other thing is, you say every assessment's the same, like she said. I live in a trailer on Webster Hill. I'm assessed in a house trailer, 230,000.
So you have to do,
230,000.
you have to submit your paperwork.
Right, every project.
Okay.
Town got assessed for 210 instead of 270.
Okay, one at a time. You're only gonna get a couple minutes because there's a lot of people in here.
230. The one in the village right here, same as me, assessed for 150.
Put that on your paperwork when you send it back.
You're not giving these people enough time to do the paperwork.
Right.
They've had since March 1st, when the letters came out. You were told in that, you were told on March 1st in that letter. In that letter, it says, this is how you go about it. They gave you the links for the forms. We've had the forms at the town hall.
Wait. Are we opening this up to a question format
Way too,
now?
unless people are gonna keep this up, then we're gonna end it.
Well, I mean, if you end it, we can always have it somewhere else ourselves. You don't have to be here. I mean, it's not you, it's the assessor, and he doesn't even have to be here, really. Let's, I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Listen, I went through this process about 8 years, maybe 10 years ago with the town of New Hartford.
This isn't New Hartford, this is nowhere near.
It was
Guys, you gotta let them speak.
This was
If we
the
don't
exact.
If we don't let one person speak at a time, they're gonna end this and then nobody.
Really, the short for me is that this is going to happen. So you can complain, we can do whatever we want, we can spend all sorts of energy, and it's going to happen. So we really have to do the comp values.